Yeah. Okay. So we're in Parshas Shemos. We do a little bit of Nosson now. One of the things that we need to, and we start to deal with this week, Shemos, is Shovavim. Shovavim is an acronym, as you probably know, for Shmois Ba'ira, Oy, B'Shalach, Yesod Mishpatim. And this year it's going to be Shovavim Tat, which is also true with Tzava because it's a leap year. So your stomach's going to be, you get an extra two weeks for it to happen. Yep. So, the first thing to be aware of in Shovavim is that a big part of Shovavim is that these parshas, when we're in Mitzrayim, we're all in Egypt, we're all under the Sitra Achra, right? So we need to overcome it, and it has to do a lot with getting out of Mitzrayim and Moshe Rabbeinu and revealing all these good things. So the way we do that, we do that by tshuva and connecting to Hashem, by crying out to Hashem. That's how we do it. We have to cry out. We have to turn to Hashem and say, B'nai Shalom, have Rachmanis, help me connect to you, Bemis, help me change myself, Bemis. That's what it comes down to. That's really a big part of Shovavim and all these parshas. We know, like it's brought down that the parsha, Nosson says it's also, but then we place this idea that the parshas connect you. Like this week, what's happening in the parshas is happening throughout every person in a special, special way. So we all have to kind of start to get to this place of, beginning to get to Geula, this place of beginning Geula, this place of, we have to get to this place of having the bitachon, not when you want to fight back. When Menachem says, when I want to fight back against the Yitzhahara, so I start to have a hard, suddenly the avodah gets harder. The avodah gets harder. The avodah gets more difficult. So the message is, whatever went over a person, he seems to try and give us the Torah, and all the milchamas to get into Eretz Yisrael, everything afterwards, all goes through every person who wants to make it to the next world. You have to go through all of these different levels and difficulties. With the many, many, many milchamas, fight very, very hard. Whenever you want to wake yourself up, Nachman says, when you're fighting, the two people are fighting, and one guy sees the other guy's really working hard, he doesn't say, okay, I'll give up. He starts fighting harder too. So it doesn't mean it's harder. It's harder sees you working harder. It's like, you're working harder. I would say for Rav Tzadok, right, it's well known that he said that people, you learn this Svarim, you find the Milchamas Yetzer, Milchamas Yetzer. He said, why don't you feel the Milchamas Yetzer? You talk to many people, you're like, what's with the Milchamas Yetzer? How are you Milchamas Yetzer? How's the Milchama going? How's the war? You're like, oh, what war? Where? In Syria? No, there. I don't know what they said. Doing this, doing that. Like, no. Milchamas Yetzer. That's right. The famous, right? The Chavos of Avos. Chavos of Avos. Sees the soldiers coming back from war, and he says that was a little war. The big war is the Yetzer. It's like, what war? Like, what are you talking about? Like, people don't even know. He said, yeah, you don't feel the war because you gave up. So when you give up, you're like, we need the right plan. Of course, there's no war. What's the problem? You already you let the enemy in. If you win, you win. You lose, you lose. This is the English. There's a tremendous milchama. So especially in the beginning, you want to get out of Mitzrayim. Moshe Rabbeinu went to Paro, and he said, "Listen, let us out." What does Paro say? Oh, sure. No. He says, "Oh, they're lazy, huh? Make it harder now. Now let's make it harder for them. Make it harder. Same quota. Won't give you straw. Go figure it out yourselves." Very difficult. Sitra Achra sees that Moshe Rabbeinu wants to take a person out. A person has a way to starting to move out. It makes it even harder. Taivas come, Parnasa comes, all these things come. It makes it very, very difficult. So we start to cry out to Hashem. We cry to Hashem, and that is the biggest inyan of what Shovavim is. Nosson says the biggest thing of Shovavim is turning to Hashem and calling out to Him and saying, "Help me." That's how you overcome and deal with all these problems and difficulties. You have to turn to Hashem and ask for help. Hashem loves every one of us. He loves every Jew, every Yid. Right? We had any idea how much He loves every Jew. We would faint away one place. We'd be blown away. And the Baal Shem Tov says, more than you have these elderly parents who didn't have any children and suddenly have one child. How much they love this one kid, their only child. He said, Hashem loves every Jew much more than that. We have no idea how much Hashem loves us. So he wants to hear from us. He wants us to speak to him, to connect to him. Talk, speak, connect. It's very simple. Just talk to him. However you can, whatever you can, whenever you can. And that's the biggest koach. The biggest koach, it says, Hashem Hashem alech v'lashuva. Right? So Nosson says it's a little bit of a fight. Right? The Jewish people says to Hashem, Hashem Hashem v'lashuva. Bring us back and we'll return. Hashem says, Shuva elai v'shuva aleichem. Come back to me. I come back to you. Right? Which is it, right? So what happens is like this. So the truth is, when Nosson says, Hashem Hashem alech v'lashuva, that's how you overcome. That's how you do Shuva elai v'shuva aleichem. That talking and asking to help me. It's totally our choice. It's completely our choice. The Nosson says, Chavetz Chaim says the same thing. If you don't talk about Shuva ever, how do you get Shuva? Speak about it. You have to daven, you have to want, you have to yearn, you have to work on it until you're zocher. Until eventually we'll be zocher. We're going to make it. B'siyata d'shmaya. B'siyata d'shmaya. So every person has to understand for himself how all these you read this in Aliyah, it goes ups and downs, you gotta fight. So all about Kos Mitzrayim is nefesh. So there's a lot of Yitzhar, as Rabbi Nachman says. So everything that happens to a person, it's all from that. So no matter what your level, you have to deal with a different aspect of the Yitzhar. And trying to push a person away from Hashem. And we have to fight back. That's why I say, just says, don't believe in yourself until the day you die. So you have to keep crying out to Hashem. Just let go of Chachmas, just talk to Hashem, cry out to Hashem, till He helps us and He's going to deliver us. And that's mamish, the main aspect of what Shovavim is about. The main element of what Shovavim is this union of crying out to Hashem, asking Him for help. That's the main thing. And again, we speak about this a lot, right? The Bechina is called tikun bris, right? It's very much the Bechina. It means being connected to God. Tikun bris means refining that connection to Hashem. Right? And we say, right, the Rav Nachman said, simcha, emunah, anavah, and bris are all interconnected. They're all one aspect. You can't have one without the other. We work very, very hard on all of these all of these aspects. It's not one thing. Maybe there are levels and levels. Every person according to their level, but the first thing is to realize and to be aware that I need to connect to the Baruch Olam. I need to be connected. I need to wake up my relationship with Him. That's really what His bonus is all about. That's His bonus. That's the ending of what His bonus is. Alright. And we have to know that a person, very often when you have, you have to take that part of you, take the inyan, the heart. You have, every person has this nachash in them, right? To be zochah, like you turn it into the matzah. You're able to get somewhere with the nachash. You bring the nachash, and you bring it into kedusha. It's a nachash b'kedusha, like the Zohar says. The Gra brings very much this idea. Like you have to have, like that the Tanchal says is nachash. Like takes vengeance to the word like a nachash. You have to be able to push yourself and generate the movement necessary to make happen what's supposed to happen. And make sure you're doing what you're supposed to do. B'siyata d'shmaya. So that's mamish. That is the tikun of Shovavim. That's the big tikun. That's the first thing in what Shemos is about. This parsha is teaching us this inyan of crying out to Hashem, ask Him for assistance, right? And learning how to turn to Him. There's one of the Tosefos brings this question of, and it's a very important, beautiful thing of why is it that it says the king died, a new king, they all groaned, right? They cried out to Hashem. Hashem heard them, right? What were they waiting for? They were slaves. They cried out to Hashem. So the Tosefos explains that this exile, the general decree in Egypt was that when a king died, his decrees stopped with him. He said, in that situation, of course, there's two malachim, whether he really died or just at Tzaras, whatever. But in this situation, the king died, but their decree continued. So they're like, oh man, we were hoping the issue would be the decree falling to pieces. The decree continued, forget it, we have to really turn to Hashem, we have no choice. So he says, when you put your whole Yeshua, he's going to help me. That one's going to do it. This way it's going to happen. That's the way the Yeshua's going to happen. He's like, so that sort of like kind of limits how things go. You're like a one-track one. That'll do it. Well, Israel will or won't. But if you just look to Hashem, then he sends Yeshua. Like there are things that are incredibly miraculous. That every person in Eretz Yisrael is the land of Nisim or Nachman and the girl. Both see this idea. When you need a miracle, usually you're in trouble. You need a miracle, my friend. Okay, you're really good luck with that. It's like Bnei Eretz Yisrael, because this is the place of Nisim. It's like no problem. Then Marsha says something about Tefillah. He says because Tefillah has the koyach of Nisim, so Tefillah, yeah. No problem. Generate nest. Another nest. No worries. This is this idea. But Eretz with tefillah is like unbelievable. There's very tremendous power, tremendous koach. So we have to be zocha to connect to Hashem and to really understand that this is the time when you can really change everything. We say from Rav Tzadok that the main time to fix things in Shovavim is the Shabbos and Shovavim. Shabbos is the biggest door. It's the biggest fixing. So the Shabbos and Shovavim, those are the main times to really, really connect again to the idea of simcha, anavah, emunah, all these aspects of Shabbos, and bris also. All about Shabbos. Everything is Shabbos. Connect to Shabbos, to try to do whatever I can, and next year we'll see a little bit maybe about connected to Shabbos.